Hello, lovely student. Once again, you are welcome to JCR Tutorials, where social studies is made simple. Okay, so this is another segment of Did You Know? And I believe you've been enjoying our previous videos. So, if this is the first time you are watching me, what you have to do is that don't forget to subscribe, and then make sure you like, post your comments in the comment section, share the videos to other friends out there so they can also learn a lot here on this platform. Okay, so I believe you are all waiting and expecting to know something new or add up to what you already know. Okay, that is what Did You Know segment on JCR Tutorials is all about. So, without much delay, we'll quickly go into our question for the day and see what we have over there. Okay. Great. So I believe you've seen the question and then you've noticed something familiar in that question. All right. So this is actually under a topic called Significance of Some Natural Features of the Earth. So at the JHS 3 level or junior high school level, that is the third year, this is taught in the first term. So it's a very long topic, and it looks like it is really the longest topic in social studies. Yes, where we talk about solar system, we talk about longitude and latitudes, rainfall, rocks, and so many other things. But we are looking at all natural features. So I've just picked a portion of it concerning asteroids, and you've seen the question. You've heard a lot about asteroids, perhaps in your science, integrated science lesson. So this question is actually going to introduce us to something new, and you've seen in the question, and we are going to tackle it right now. So I'll show you how this problem can actually be solved. It's all about the fact that asteroids can be a threat to the humans living on this particular Earth. So where are these asteroids in space? Where are they located? What are these asteroids? And how can we deal with them in case they become a threat to humanity on Earth here? So let's go into that quickly, and I'll show you right now. Alright, so we'll begin to look at where these asteroids are found. Okay, so in the solar system, as you've learned in science and social studies, geography, you were told that there are planets in the solar system, and within a certain range, there is what we call the asteroid belt. Okay, so you can see the image here. You have the asteroid belt, and then the sun is here in the middle of the solar system. So the solar represents the sun. Okay, now we have the Earth. The Earth is actually not the first planet, or is not the closest to the sun anyway, but because we are actually looking at a range where our concern here is much more on the asteroid. Okay, so we want to look at where they are found. So we have Mercury as the first planet, then we have Venus the second, followed by Earth. So Mercury and Venus should be around this region or area. Then we have our own Earth, because that is where we live, and then we have to let this one to come in. So we have the Earth. After the Earth, we have the Mars. We have Mars. Okay, so in between Mars and Jupiter, so Jupiter is the next planet after Mars. Okay, so in between Mars and Jupiter, we have what we call the asteroid belt. This is where these rock-like bodies that contain nickel, iron, silica, they are found. So they look very small in space. You see them very small in size in space, but they are actually huge rocks. So any of these could move from their position wherever they are, because they are hanging in the solar system, and anything can happen. If the sun's solar flares or energy pulls any of these and then they lose their path, they could crash into any of the planets. So we are looking at how we are going to deal with any sort of asteroid that tries to hit the surface of the earth, because I'm sure you heard stories about dinosaurs that got extinct on earth because of these uh, heavenly bodies, okay. So an asteroid is a rock-like body in space, and we know that now they are found in the what we call the asteroid belt. So, and where is the region? So the region of the asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, now that we know where the asteroids are found, we'll look at how can we deal with it, because that is the question we have for Did You Know? How do we deal with an asteroid that becomes a threat to humanity on Earth here? So if any of these, there are several researches that have come out to indicate or prove how we can solve this problem, how we can deal with an asteroid. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is an institute based in the Cambridge University. So the Cambridge University, so they have this research they've conducted, and they've given few ways by which we can actually deal with an asteroid that becomes a threat to the surface of the earth or to mankind here on earth. So if an asteroid is about to hit the surface of the earth, what can be done? That's what we are looking at. So the first one is what they call the gravity tractor. So the gravity tractor, so you can see this is the gravity tractor. So it's a whole machine here. Then we have a typical image of the asteroid. Okay, so you see the surface and how huge it is. Okay, so if you take a critical look, you see this, there is the earth here. So the earth is around this place. Alright, so if this huge thing that could actually destroy a whole city on the surface of the earth because of the size and the speed that it moves with. Okay, so what the gravity tractor does is that it will actually slow down the movement of the asteroid. Okay, all right, so we have this. How does it do that? Now, so it has a gravitational field around it that is going to apply on the surface of the asteroid, or exert on the asteroid. So when that happens, the asteroid will now slow down, and it could possibly deflect it or change its course, so it will not hit the earth but rather move to a different direction. Okay, so that is what the gravity tractor does. So if they detect that an asteroid is about to hit the surface of the earth, this is one of the key ways that or methods that can be used to actually deal with that particular asteroid. Okay, so that is the first. Now let's look at the second one. So with the second one, we'll see this. With the second one, still there's an asteroid here, and you see these images throwing light on the surface of the asteroid. So what happens is that when an asteroid gets a lot of sunlight or solar energy, what happens is that it begins to get deformed. Yeah, so because in the night, when it becomes very cold, you see that there is water content in it, and then when the sun now throws its light on it and there is heat, it will begin to evaporate. Okay, so we need more of the light on the surface of an asteroid to cause it to deform. When that happens, if it is the one that is going to hit the surface of the earth, then probably we can use what we call the space-based mirrors. So these are all space-based mirrors. So artificial mirrors actually created by man, so man-made. So they make them to throw more light. Okay, so when the light is actually thrown on the surface of the asteroid, it reduces its movement and causes it to deform. And when this happens, it's possible that the asteroid will not hit the surface of the earth. So that is one. The first one we look at was the gravity tractor, and this one is the space-based mirrors. And what the space-based mirrors do is to actually give more light or throw more light on the surface of the asteroid. So we call it concentrated sunlight. So concentrated sunlight, that's the use of the space-based mirrors. So they will actually cause more light to be thrown on the surface of the that sunlight or solar energy to be thrown on the surface of the asteroid. Then we can be able to deal with it in case it becomes a threat to the surface of the earth, or is about to hit the surface of the earth. Okay, so these are two major formulas. They look complex anyway, but the people who study space and study the stars, heavenly bodies and everything, they are doing everything possible to make sure that we don't have any of these dangerous rock-like bodies hitting the surface of the earth. It could destroy humanity. Okay, all right. So now let's look at, apart from these ones, there are common ones that we know, and as for those ones, we can say they use them a lot. So one is, that is going to be the third one, is when a nuclear weapon is manufactured. So a nuclear weapon can be released to go and blast the asteroid. Okay, so if supposing the earth is around this place and we are on earth, and we see the people detect that this is coming to hit the surface of the earth, these weapons can be the nuclear weapons can be released into space to go and crash the asteroid that is about to hit the surface of the earth. And that could also be another way. So that is the third way. Then the fourth one they also discovered or proved is when we have a spacecraft. So this one is not a weapon, it's like a spacecraft, and it can be made or constructed in a way that when they release it into space, it will go and crash the surface of the asteroid and cause it to divert its course, so it will not hit the surface of the earth. So these are a few ways of dealing with an asteroid that becomes a threat to the surface of the earth, okay, or planet earth. So that is what actually happens. So there are a lot. So we've seen four. The first one, we look at the gravity tractor. The second one, we look at the space-based mirrors that give concentrated sunlight or throw concentrated sunlight on the surface of the asteroid. Okay, then we looked at the nuclear weapon being released to crash the surface or crash the asteroid that is about to hit the earth. Then we can also talk about the spacecraft, the objects that can be manufactured strong enough to hit the asteroid and cause it to move away from the earth. So these are some of the ways, and I believe that they have been helpful and you've learned a lot from this. Okay, so I believe you found this particular illustration and discussion very interesting, and more is going to come your way. All you have to do is that keep connected and make sure you are always glued to this particular channel. If you have friends out there that you feel should also know more as far as this subject is concerned and perform well in social studies, so let them know about it. What do? Keep sharing the videos, and then make sure you also put your own comments there. If you have anything concerning the lessons that have been discussed so far, don't worry, you can ask any question you have, and in my next video I'll pick it up and address all of them. This is JCL Tutorials, and what we have on Did You Know segment today is what I've brought to you. Alright, so have a good time out there, and I'm going to meet you again with another interesting lesson. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.